an update. So thank you all for tolerating that. Let's get to the important stuff. I had to do an emergency briefing from the ship, okay? An emergency briefing from the ship. This cocaine story at the White House, Blue, there was so much misinformation out there. And I love all the media people who have zero experience with White House security other than walking through it, who have no idea how the security actually works, commenting on the story. Now, that's like suggesting because you went through an airport screen or a TSA that you're all of a sudden a TSA expert. What do I mean? Well, you're probably thinking to yourself, this is important, folks, because it goes to show you the dumbasses in the media and how much they think they know. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect rather than what they actually know. Because you've been to a screen or a TSA does not mean you know what TSA is doing. What I mean by that is TSA and the Secret Service, without giving up any secrets, wouldn't you agree, fellas, are probably likely doing things you don't see. You get it? Winky, winky, nod, nod. Joe, yeah. We checking? We tracking?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe sniffing stuff. What, cocaine? No. There's stuff going on you don't know. That's the point. But not media people. Because the a-holes in the media know everything. Because they're media a-holes. It could have been anybody. Anyone can get coke in the White House. Yeah. They let white powder in the White House all the time. You guys didn't know that? It's a common thing. Everybody just brings white powder in. Yeah, white powder could be anthrax, could be coke. This brings in all the... So, just to be clear, I worked in the White House 5 years. It's been now, a decade plus since I've left the White House. And we've never had cocaine in the White House. And the craziest shit happens. What happens? This is amazing. Guys, this is all a coincidence, right? So it's the first time we've seen coke in the White House in like forever. You got a guy in the White House, the president's son, who's on tape doing coke multiple times in crack. He's like living in the White House. He's in the White House on Friday. The coke's discovered on Sunday. He's on video on his computer multiple times doing this. It's never been found before. And everybody's like, where did the coke come from? I don't know, bro. I have no idea. Where did it come from? I have no idea. The Secret Service, bro. Yes, a bunch of Secret Service agents who are drug tested all the time, by the way. Yeah, hair clippings and everything, which detects cocaine law. Yes, they're all in the White House doing blow. Man, guys, had to get up for work. Missed my call. Anyone got some blow? That's happening. Then they're like, no, it was definitely the White House staffer. Yes, 100%. White House staffers, right? They're doing blow in the White House. Do you ever see the West Wing of the White House? How tiny it is? It's like a 3,000 square foot house. It's like tiny. Yes, they're in their office. Hey, what are you doing, Bobby? You writing a speech? Hold on. Yeah, let me get the... No, I'm doing blow. Yes, that's happening. Then they're like, it's the worker. Oh, yes, it's definitely the workers. The workers did. Do you realize what a dumbass you have to be to believe this story? This is so clearly a family member that any dipshit can put this together, even in the media. Not to mention, I'm going to go through this piece by piece. They changed the story 1,000 times, and the Bongino rule applies here. Do not believe the White House version of events. I'm going to go through it because where they found it came up changed 5 or 6 times. Here's the deal. Family members and protectees, people the Secret Service protects, they don't go through the checkpoints. They drive in. Someone in the Secret Service waves to the security guy, shows their pass, and they drive in. What, they don't go through the magnetometers? No. Now, some asshole on Twitter, again, another smart ass, because liberals are the dumbest mother you've ever seen in your life. Dunning-Kruger. The magnetometer, they don't detect coke. Oh, really? Holy shit. I thought cocaine was magnetic. Really? Joe, I didn't know that. Magnetometers don't detect for coke? Now, again, this is a Twitter genius who doesn't know jack shit about the White House security system, and Jack left town. He assumes because all he sees is the magnetometer that there's nothing else going on. Oh, another freaking genius. Here we go. Not to mention, when you walk through the White House security checkpoints, you have to empty your pockets and they go through your bags, making it extremely unlikely you would be able to bring white powder in the White House. Also assuming nothing else is going on because they're liberals, which means what, Joe? They're dipshits.
Dipshits.
I don't want to say, he's asking good questions, but in the interest of keeping omerta with the Secret Service and for national security reasons, I don't want to tell you what they do. I'm just telling you that although I can't conclusively prove it was Hunter Biden's, it was most likely a protectee. Now you do the math. Who else is doing coke? Jill Biden? You think Jill's going to, I mean, she's a full-time professor and, folks, she's a medical doctor and surgeon too. You think she's doing blow before her surgery? I know she's not a medical doctor. You don't have to send me it. It's a joke if you go to, when she's doing brain surgery, you think she's doing coke before? Oh my gosh. Freaking unbelievable. So I had to do an emergency briefing. If you want to watch it, it got 500,000+ views. I did it from the ship. How Guy got it up, I don't even know. I sent it to Paula. She put it in a Dropbox. There was like no internet service at all out at sea while we were cruising. Yeah, Paul and I are in the gym. We're working out, so I only gained like a pound or two. This is the craziest open ever. I haven't stopped talking for 12 straight minutes. Right? This is crazy. Paula's in the gym on the elliptical. We didn't even gain that much weight on this cruise because we worked out so hard. And she loaded it to a Dropbox, and I got it up there. So I gave you my thoughts, but I'll repeat them here. The Daily Wire wrote a great piece about it, about my comments. I did speak to Greg Wilson, who's a great reporter over there, and gave him my only comments on it. I was getting a bunch of requests from media, but I was on vacation. I certainly wasn't going to do some media hit from the boat. My wife would have divorced me. So let's take a look at this cocaine in the White House thing. Because unlike everyone else in the media, I think the only guy who has actual specific expertise in this, if you know what I mean. Number one, where it was found in the White House is not irrelevant, but is irrelevant to it getting in. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, you know the White House you're used to seeing? That entire 18 acres, the White House, the OEOB, the old executive office building, and the Treasury. That entire complex right there is all surrounded by virtually the same security system. It doesn't matter for the purposes of it getting in. A bunch of people said, oh, no, it was found here around there. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whether you're going to gate 18 or gate 8 in the airport, you go through the same security. So number one, where it was found is relevant to who it was. But it's not relevant towards it getting in. Because people were like, oh, it was found here, so it could have bypassed security. No, dipshit. You don't know the complex. You're just a moron, okay? Number two, like I said, protectees bypass the security. They're driven into the White House, always. When was the last time you saw Joe Biden walk into the White House? Even when they go to church across the street at St. John's, we drive them. That's for a reason I can't talk about. They don't walk in the White House. They don't go through security. Again, number three, the Secret Service is drug tested. It wasn't a Secret Service agent. It's just stupid. They're getting ready to blame the workers, though. I have never heard of this, folks, ever. Now, Red State's got a great piece in the newsletter by Bonchi, who's great. Read this piece. It's attached to my newsletter today, bongino.com/newsletter. The story has changed about where this was found like 1,000 times. This is why the Bongino rule, check it, flag it. Folks, the Bongino rule is in effect. By the way, just the pride flag, I'm keeping it up for an extra few weeks just because, it's not Pride Month anymore, but American Pride Month. We'll give it an extra few weeks there, just so you know why it's still up. Yeah, of course. Got to shout out to America. Do you think it should be there permanently? We'll have to leave that up to the audience in the chat. Hey, folks, a Y or an N if you think the flag should stay up permanently. Y for yes, N for no. But getting back to the story in Red State, here's the first story, that the cocaine hydrochloride was found near the White House. Oh, near. Okay. So it was found near the White House. Don't worry, guys. It wasn't found in the White House. It was there's the first story, found near the White House. This is why don't believe. Wow, a lot of yes. It's not even a no. I better keep that up. All right. You guys win. These shows for you, of course. So there you go. First, it was found near the White House. Don't believe a word you hear from them. Second, it was found near the White House library. Go to the next screenshot. They reported this. Bonchi has all of this. Then the report shifted dramatically, including the Washington Post says it was found in the White House library. Oh, that's interesting, because the White House library would really, the inside of it, if you know the White House, only be open to protectees and family. Oh, that's strange, folks. It was found in a library. You know what happened when somebody said that? I'm going to tell you what I really think happened in a minute, so stay tuned. So the library, which is in the East Wing on the floor beneath the ground floor, right? It's not far from where when you see the president land on the South grounds in Marine One, when they walk in, the library's to the right, okay? And it's on the left side, but it's to the right. But going inside the library, you'd only be able to do that during a Christmas party and a protectee. So unless it was sitting there from Christmas, a bunch of cocaine, it was likely, if found in the library, again, as I freaking says, left by a protectee, i.e. probably a family member.
It wouldn't have gone that long unattended.
No. White powder in the library? No. So then all of a sudden, someone probably realized we got a problem. Because if it's found in the library and anyone does even a modicum of research, they'll find out that only a family member would be down there. So then what happens? Oh, here it is. What is this? It's the curveball. Here comes the curve. The story changes again. Now it's found in a work area, the West Wing. Work area. So it's gone from near the White House to the library. This coke, Joe, this coke has legs. This cocaine's on cocaine. It's so hopped up, it's moving around.
This blow is on the go.
After it's found, after it moves from the cubby to the work area, yes, next screenshot, it's found. Here we go. Sorry. And the cubby in the West Wing entrance. So why would you want to say it was found in a cubby near the West Wing entrance? Because a lot of people who come into the West Wing for White House tours use those cubbies. So it sounds to me like a really convenient way, Joe, to say, oh my gosh, someone on a tour brought cocaine in the White House. That's crazy because everybody always thinks to bring cocaine in the White House going through security. It happens all the time. No problem at all. Everybody goes, not to mention everybody who goes on a tour goes through the security I discussed before. So strange how the story changed. Well, you know, we can't, of course, cover this story without covering the dreadful Karine Jean-Pierre. Anyone changing their vote? It's been a while. You got
Sucks.
No? Guy? Justin?
Nah, everything's the same.
No, Guy's staying put. Joe says the same. Justin's holding. Karine Jean-Pierre, worst press secretary in the history of the United States. Here's the story. This is actually an NBC clip. Here's the story changing again. Where they say now it was found near the Situation Room in a work area. NBC playing into the nonsense. Check this out.
It was found, by my observation, in a much more secure place, limited access place than that West Wing reception area. It's still a frequently trafficked place, but it's down near the Situation Room, right off West Executive, down below. And normal people, average people just can't get in there, even with the entry from the Northwest Gate.
Well, let me bring you up to date with the reporting that I have. What we have learned is that there are, in fact, two West Wing entrances. You know that, I know that, but for the benefit of our audience. And now the investigation has progressed, and so they're saying the West Executive entrance, which, as you noted, is closer to the Situation Room and closer to the Navy mess, where there's the facilities for food and so forth. It is also next to West Executive Drive. That's where, for example, the vice president's vehicle is parked.
So Guy's jumped the gun and he's missed the ball again, Joe. Guy says, I can't believe they haven't blamed the Russians. Dude, there's still time. What are you getting out ahead of the story? They will blame the Russians. What are you?
Yeah.
Guy's way out ahead of the story. Now, the reporter is correct. There are two entrances to the West Wing. There's one on the north side of the White House. That's where the Marine is always standing guard. You don't see that entrance much. There's one on West Executive Avenue that most people use. That's the one I used to go in all the time, okay? Now, here's the weird thing. The story changes again because the cubbies they're talking about are on the Marine entrance on the north side, not by the Situation Room on West Executive Avenue. So the cocaine on coke, Joe, has now magically moved again. This is like some... you know what? Remember that Usual Suspects? There's no coke. This case, there is coke, but it's everywhere. There's coke in the residence. There's coke around the White House. There's coke in the library. There's coke in the sit room. Coke in the cubby holes. Coke in the workers. It's coke everywhere. It's a snowstorm in the freaking White House. This is like, I'm waiting for Al Pacino. Say hello to my little friend. I mean, there's blow everywhere in this White House. This is the craziest effing story I've ever heard. Coke all over the place. The coke keeps moving. Where's the coke? So now they're getting ready, of course, to blame people because this is what this disgusting, filthy, corrupt, drug-riddled White House is all about. I'm going to play this next video. I got to take a quick break. Thanks for your patience. Jake Sullivan, the National Security Advisor, getting ready for the blame game. Him and Karine Jean-Pierre. They're getting ready to blame anyone but the most likely suspect, which is a Biden family member. Stay tuned. Big show. Thanks again. Almost 50,000 already. No, I thought I'd be gone. I thought you'd all leave. You're all back in droves. Love you all. Good to have you back. Folks, you may have seen the CEO of Innovation Refunds, Howard Mackler, on TV, explaining how they've helped so many small businesses with their ERC tax refunds. The ERC is the Employee Retention Credit. Every year, the U.S. government sets aside over $1 billion for economic incentives, but it's reported only 4% are claimed. If you own a business, you could have money just waiting to be claimed if you have more than 4 employees. The ERC tax filing is complex, and Innovation Refunds is dedicated to helping business owners navigate the process. You have a CPA that says you might not qualify for the ERC? Well, get a second opinion. No harm in that, right? With Innovation Refunds. Their independent tax attorneys will even work with the CPA to help you discover your eligibility. Innovation Refunds has been helping eligible business owners claim their ERC tax refund since 2021. They may be able to help you too in your business. Go to innovationrefunds.com to determine eligibility. If you qualify, you could be on your way to receiving money for your business. There's no upfront charge. They don't get paid unless you get paid. Go to innovationrefunds.com or dial 1-843-REFUNDS. That's innovationrefunds.com or 1-843-REFUNDS. Thanks, innovationrefunds.com. We appreciate it. Thanks for your patience. So, as I told you, the Coke is everywhere. Pacino's asking you to get ready to say hello to his friend. There's They should call Biden the snowman. There's snow all over this. And Farmer, some of you will get that. Some of you won't. Say hello to my little friend. Say hello to, well, I don't know where Joe got that from, but it's glorious. I did not ask him to do that. Say hello to my little friend. Joe Biden's going to come out with the machine gun suit, get ready when they raid the place for all the snow. Here's Jake Sullivan getting ready to blame someone. Listen to this clip when he answers the question, and I'll tell you what I mean. This is his national security advisor. This is the PP hoax guy, too. Check this out.
I would refer to the Secret Service when it comes to questions of the security of the president. I won't speak to that. Second, I would make a point about the Situation Room because I think there's been a lot of questionable reporting on this. The Situation Room is not in use and has not been in use for months because it is currently under construction. We are using an alternate Situation Room in the Eisenhower Executive Office building. So the only people coming in and going out of the sit room in this period have been workers who are getting it ready to go. By the way, it's on time and on schedule to be back on station here in the not too distant future.
Okay, pop quiz for the live chat. Who are they getting ready to blame? Anyone? Any guesses? The workers. Now, the thing that jumped from near the White House to the library to the cubbies to the sit room to around the White House, the cocaine on coke has now magically appeared, Joe, in an area where there are workers redoing the sit room. Wow. Sounds to me they're going to be like, you know, and 2A for Americans who said how much I love people who work for a living. My dad was a plumber. My brother's an electrician. I was a cop. They're getting ready to blame you. No, not you personally. You weren't working in there. But this is how disgusting this corrupt, drug-riddled, garbage, filth bag, kid-sniffing White House is. They are getting ready to blame those workers, knowing full well it probably was not one of them and most likely a protectee. Yeah, they get checked. Of course the workers get checked. He's asking that question. It doesn't matter. So here's what I think happened. Now, I always tell you when I'm speculating, but I'm speculating based on evidence of who could get cocaine in the White House, based on everything I just told you. I don't know whose it was. To say that would be lying. I'm guessing it was probably Hunter Biden's, guessing based on, who's your likely suspect? Give me a break, folks. The preponderance of evidence, maybe not beyond a reasonable doubt, is in one spot. Okay? The guy with a drug problem or everyone else in the White House without one? Come on, let's use common sense. Having said that, I don't know that. Could have been another protectee. It could have been some crazy thing. What I think happened is a protectee, most likely a Biden family member, left it in the White House somewhere behind. There was probably left it on a Friday. They took off on Sunday. I can almost guarantee you what they call members of Carpet. Carpet are these people, or it's either them or one of the White House staff, the ushers. One of them probably found it. Ladies and gentlemen, you find white powder in the White House. Let's say it was the ushers. The ushers stay behind. They don't all go with the president. Maybe one of them does. You are the ushers. You're in the White House. So common sense, fellas. You find white powder in the White House. What do? Of course, you call the Secret Service.
Yeah, tell them.
It was probably found in the library. That's my guess, or in the residence. Everybody spun it. The Secret Service has some real explaining to do, too, because they got to know. Or somebody might have called the White House staff first and said, what do we do with this? And they said, well, call the Secret Service, but bring it over to where the work, you get what I'm saying? Bring it over to where the workers are first. That way the Secret Service has plausible deniability and say, oh, yeah, we found it where the workers were, even though it was initially found in a residence. Think about how dangerous that is.
Yeah.
Think about how dangerous that is.
That's just like your opinion, man.
I know. Thank you. That's the dude. No,
Yeah.
It is my opinion, man. And I'm almost positive, dude, it's the right one. Because they probably found it over there. Think about if that wasn't coke and that was anthrax or something. And you ask someone to transport it all around the White House, that's the only reasonable explanation for why we have all these reports. Residence, library, near the White House, cubbies, sit room. It's the only explanation. Ladies and gentlemen, Occam's razor. Keep it simple, stupid. Here's Karine Jean-Pierre. She absolutely knows they're full of shit on this. Here she is with the traditional Biden response to everything. These filth bags in the White House. How dare you, sir? How dare you ask this question? Listen to this goofball.
There has been some irresponsible reporting about the family. And so I got to call that out here. And I have been very clear. I was clear 2 days ago when talking about this over and over again as I was being asked a question. As you know, and media outlets reported this, the Biden family was not here. They were not here. They were at Camp David. They were not here Friday. They were not here Saturday. They were not here Sunday. They were not even here Monday. They came back on Tuesday. So to ask that question is actually incredibly irresponsible. And I'll just leave it there.
Okay, this woman's disgusting. She's just a horrible, awful human being. They weren't in the White House on Friday. It was found on Sunday. Really? Here's an email from Eugene Daniels on that for poolers. They're talking about press poolers. Read it yourself. Poolers saw Jill Biden, baby Beau, and Hunter Biden climb into the presidential SUV. Biden followed a few minutes later. This was on Friday. Clearly, Karine Jean-Pierre is lying. This is an author, by the way, a writer for Politico. You think Bullshitico, the left-wing Politico, that reported I got thrown out of a restaurant hilariously and still hasn't retracted it, by the way? You think Politico is lying here? They're a left-wing activist outlet. He was in the White House on Friday. It was found on Sunday. Like Joe said, he probably left it behind. It's freaking obvious. This reminds me of that segment on Dave Chappelle's thing about Jussie Smollett when the cops show up at Jussie's house. The two cops, one of them, the other guy's Frank. Frank, come over here. You see that clip, guys? Frank, come over here. He's reporting that he was walking down the street at 3 a.m. to get a Subway sandwiches. And he's like, and two MAGA supporters in Chicago. This is it. This is like, this defies belief, okay? You know what the story is. Everybody knows. All right, they got bigger problems too. Something big happened in this case. FOIA strikes again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's clear, Freedom of Information Act. It's clear to me Hunter Biden and the Biden family has bigger problems right now because it looks to me right now, the evidence is piling up that this is an Obama scandal too. What, the cocaine thing? No, the Biden bribery scandal. Big story on this. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Always appreciate your patience. Last couple of sponsors. Folks, Patriot Supply